Hey everybody, hey everybody, this is your girl Mercedes. We'll be with you in 1 second. I have the great Jacinda Jacobs with me. Hey Jacinda.
What's up? How are you?
I'm good. So we're gonna give the folks a couple seconds to get on.
All right. Now, did you
And
see, as we're waiting on people to get on, did you see that? So I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We have this huge hurricane on the way.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
You're not packing up and leaving?
No, so I actually do weather, and the irony in that is by Friday of last week, I started noticing the weather pattern here, and my hut, no one's paying any attention. Everyone's living their life. Everyone's happy about it. And I was like, you guys do know that there's a major hurricane coming here. And so just today is the vibe kind of picking up, like we need to go grocery shopping and stuff is happening, but we good over here. I've already done shopping. We're good. We're good. I'm already on it. But no, it's definitely coming. It's coming this way. So you guys pray for us.
Ooh, sure. We sure will. We sure will. Uh, all right. So I think we're ready. Are you ready, Jacinda?
I am. Can I go online and share this? Is that what I should do?
Yeah, I tagged you on Facebook
Okay.
and just share, share, share.
Yeah, because I want people to be a part of this as well.
Yeah. Let me know when you shared. We'll go ahead and get started.
There we are. This is so cool. Ah!
It's so awesome, right?
Yes. All right. I am sharing right now.
All right. Hey, everybody. Again, hi, everybody. This is Mercedes Wilson, and I'm with the great Jacinda Jacobs. I have the privilege of interviewing her. She's so awesome. I can't wait for you all to hear. If you're not inspired after this video or after this interview, I don't know what will inspire you, right? So Jacinda and I met a few weeks ago when we both went to tape for the Deborah Ross show. We love her. Thank you, Deborah. We love you. And we just instantly connected, right? We exchanged numbers, and she has so many great things going on. And after our first phone conversation, I knew that this is someone that I need to stay around and keep in my circle, right? Because she has so much fire in her, and she's so unique, no pun intended. She has to share exactly what's going on in her life. So I want to introduce Jacinda Jacobs, and she has a lot of titles, so y'all stay with me now, okay? She's a radio and TV personality, best-selling author of Uniquely Qualified, founder and CEO of Stolen Lunches Bible Study Community, a motivational speaker, and Charlotte Hornets arena host. We're going to talk basketball later, Jacinda.
Let's do it.
Let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about you.
So me, I am in media and ministry. I started in morning radio, transitioned into local television, but my heart and soul ended up leading me to ministry. And so God has, in this faith journey, taught me that while I've given you the experience and the skills of the microphone, it's going to be for my glory. And so I consider myself Jesus's mouthpiece. And every time I touch the mic, I pray. And every single time I ever have a platform, I will always give him praise.
I love it. Now, you've been in radio for years, right? So let's take it back a little bit, because when you and I spoke, one of the things you said is, listen, I used to turn up, and now I turn up for Jesus. There's no shame in that. That's one thing I love, because a lot of times we're ashamed to express our love for Christ because we're afraid to be called crazy, or you look crazy doing that. Can you give us a little bit of that background and what your mindset was like when you started doing what you do? Because you and your husband have a radio show. Explain to everybody your mindset and how you turn up for Christ.
So I'm in radio now, But the irony is right now, my husband and I do a gospel radio show every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m. It's called the Fly Tie and Jacinda Show. You can listen to it anywhere, v1019.com. But we pray, we have scriptures, and we laugh, and we are real. And what I mean by real is we have a segment that says, I love Jesus, but I curse a little. We talk about cursing, we talk about drinking, we talk about real life, because what I don't want is for anyone to think that you have to be perfect in order to do this walk with Jesus. Jesus already knows everything about you. So why is it that we always have to put on this facade of being perfect, right? So that's where I've grown to become. That's where I've grown in my faith walk. But rewinding all the way back in my first days of radio, I really got hired and moved up pretty fast in the industry because of how wild and crazy I was. I was really off the chain. I lived life like, I'm always a free spirit, but back in the day, I really dabbled a lot with promiscuity, drinking, drugs, partying, and this started in middle school. So imagine if you had a lifestyle that started in middle school, now you're in high school and college, and they give you a microphone and say, yeah, you have a few 100,000 people listening to you. The way I talk, the things I believe, the conversations I had, everything was rock star gold radio to the program director. He was like, this chick is amazing, because really I was cuckoo. Like everything I said made no sense. I was paid to go to clubs. I was paid to stand on bars. I was paid to give shots, drinking shots. I have a video that I don't know how to take down from YouTube, and it's of me doing a radio remote where I was drinking and doing a breathalyzer, and throughout the night you see me like doing this breathalyzer, and I'm definitely intoxicated out of my mind, but I keep saying like, this thing is broken, there's no way I'm this drunk, this thing is broken, and the whole time I'm like slurring and falling, and I drove home that night. So that was my lifestyle then. And I got paid a lot of money to do it. The crazier, the better. One morning show, well, a couple times, we would do a club night that night. And then we come back and do the morning show. And you got to be there 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, drunk out of my mind. I would have the trash can right next to me. I can't even see the computer in front of me. And we're wilding out on the air. Some of the best shows we've ever done. That's the lifestyle of entertainment. That's the lifestyle that people are wanting to watch and that people are paying for. But when I started to get to know this thing called faith, when I started to know what real peace in your heart feels like, that's when I was like, hold on, I'm living 2 completely different lives. And that's when my life started to change.
Wow. I'm sure so many people, so many of us can relate to that, right? Now let's go to the television part of it, because you were doing television and had an experience where you were walking away from that as well. So tell us about that and what happened.
So I was in morning radio for a few years. And again, that was so fun. I'll never like wish that didn't happen, because it was such a beautiful time in my life. But I started to go to church. I started to volunteer. And it was there that I started to kind of say, this particular season in my life, I believe, has ended. This funness, this fun time. I have this microphone. Thousands of women are listening to me, and I'm talking about who I'm having sex with every day, or how much they would have to pay me for me to have sex with them. So it just started to get kind of old, kind of fast. And from there, I transitioned into television news. And from there, I really grew up as a woman professionally, I believe. And I started doing traffic. I was a weather forecaster. I was a reporter. I was a morning co-host. Every title I could possibly wear at this news station, I wore. I was working from morning to night. Anyone who's ever been in television news knows it's 24/7. It does not end. When you are enjoying family time on Christmas Day, there's still breaking news, and we're still out there in the streets covering it. And so after, a few years of doing television news as well, I started to just kind of grow empty inside. So here, I love media. I love the microphone. I definitely have a talent in that. But what is my purpose, God? And so these questions started to arise to say, is this it? I got a master's degree. I have all these years of experience, but I am not fulfilled in my heart. Yes, I can pay the bills, but I am empty inside. Who am I? And so a lot of us get to that place where we say, I've worked so hard for this, but I really kind of maybe see myself over there. And where I kind of picture myself is in nonprofit, helping people, giving back. But I didn't know how to do that and pay my bills at the same time. So it started this spiral journey of self-discovery. But with that, back to the question that you asked, I know it took me a while to get there.
It's okay.
I'm in television news, and my boss comes to me and actually offers a promotion. And here I am at an amazing job, getting great money. And my boss comes and offers me even more money to lock in a longer contract. And that's when I said, all right, cool. Right now is where everything changes. And I took a leap of faith. And I not only walked away from that promotion, but asked if I would if it's okay if I break my contract. And I just said, God has a big calling for my life. I don't know what it is. I don't have a job lined up, but I know that I need to go and figure that out. And he was a believer, believe it or not. He was a believer, and he allowed me to break my contract. He allowed me to go and figure it out. And I'm still with the station to this day. Believe it or not, I'm still with this station, but that station has allowed me to go figure it out. And in that, I went into prison ministry for free, where I found like the most peace and fulfillment in my entire life. And that's when I was able to launch my ministry, start writing my book, and all these other amazing things happened. But it only happened when I was willing to say yes to God and not be scared about, well, what's going to happen, you know?
So it wasn't scary for you, Jacinda?
To be honest, no, I'm not. The second you say yes to God, it's full throttle. You can never be scared when God is calling you to do something, because here it is. It's either faith or fear. You cannot walk around all day long talking about you love Jesus, but be scared to move when he's telling you to move. You can't walk around, praise Jesus on a Sunday, wearing your Sunday best, but when God is calling you to walk away from a relationship, but you still holding on to that man because you don't want to be alone, faith or fear, which one are you going to do? I walked away from a relationship. I was engaged to marry the most sexiest man that I thought I had ever laid my eyes on. And I said, I'm going to trust you, God. And he brought me the best husband a woman could ever ask for. I walked away from the crazy job, making a lot of money, to a place of extreme freedom and wonderful fulfillment in faith, making more money than I was making then, all because I said yes to God. I will never, ever admit to being fearful. You cannot be fearful. Can you be hesitant? Can you be nervous?
Yeah.
Nerves are amazing. Nerves just let you know that you're being pushed out of your comfort zone. It's a way of letting you know that you're still alive and you're moving and you're free. But fear, no ma'am, I got faith.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I told y'all, if you're not inspired by this woman, I don't know what's wrong, right? So let's talk a little bit about stolen lunches, because when I saw this, when you were talking about it on the Deborah Ross show, I was like, oh my goodness. Like, first of all, I love the name of it and the concept, because life gets busy, and just the name of it alone, it shows you taking control back with all the craziness in life.
Yeah.
But I'll let you explain it. What is Stolen Lunches about, and where did it come from?
Stolen lunches means to steal away and be fed by God. That's it. We were all depressed at the news station. Everywhere I turned, I was depressed. I wanted to drop bombs on that place. I was so depressed. Like, I was like, if someone dropped a bomb in here right now, I would be so happy. But all the women that I worked with were really sad and kind of unhappy. And so God just placed it in my heart to say, get everyone together and let's have a Bible study. And so I had asked the ladies, some of them, I don't even know if they knew Jesus. I don't even know if they went to church, but I invited them anyways. And so the morning crew gets in around between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. When you work morning, that's what time you get in. So you get off around 10 or 11. The evening crew, which, by the way, I worked all these shifts and they all suck. The evening crew gets in around 1:45 and 2, and they get off around 11, 12 o'clock at night. So I begged. I pulled out my salesperson hat. I said, please, well, if the morning crew stays a little later, the evening crew comes in a little earlier, can y'all give me a lunch? Just give me a lunch, 12 to 1. Right. That's it. I'll start at 12. I'll end right at 1. And we'll bring food. And so our very first one was August of 2014. We had 8 women show up. I brought my dogs. Some of them brought their dogs. And we had Bible study. And before the end of that time, everyone was crying. Everyone was just releasing. And I found out something very very beautiful. And it's that all of us at the end of the day are going through something. But we all put on this beautiful face of perfection, this makeup, social media, everything puts on this facade that we got it going on, and we don't. Okay. Right. But once you start to tear down the walls and start to say, this is really what I'm battling with, other women in there are battling the same thing, boo. It's not just you. And if we all are real with ourselves, we can actually start to do the work and help one another. And so all the women in there realize that they really have been needing support more than anything else. Just needing a friend, a real true girlfriend to say, girl, I got you.
Right,
so
right.
After that moment, they said, when's the next one? And I said, whoa, there's not a next one. But that launched me into my purpose of creating experiences where God shows up. And God knows every need that's in that room, and he handles that. So it's like a tag team. I say, God, I put it on the calendar. Women are coming. Tag team, you're it. Get in there. Like, do what you do. Yeah. And so that's what I do. From that first Bible study in August, we have women's Bible studies, men's, married couples, singles. We have virtual Bible studies tonight at 8 p.m. We do one every Tuesday. We have prayer calls. We have weekend experiences that are local and even international. So a whole big thing popped off that was not even planned, all from saying yes to God, even though it sounded
obedience.
Completely yeah.
It's the obedience. And then there's something else. Now, you got a thing with names. So from now on, when I'm going to launch something, I'm going to call you and say, Jacinda, help me find a name for this, because your book. Go ahead.
But to even just put a pause, like, I really did not like stolen lunches.
Really? I love it.
What? Why? Because stolen is a bad word. Stolen means like taking, like stealing, like, and I really fought with that. God deposited. But it's perfect. He deposited.
It's perfect with the times that we're in. It's perfect with the times that we're in. With all the different demands, you have to take back what's yours.
Mercedes, and I love how grateful I am to hear you say that, because so we're going on our 5 year. 4 years. I'll say 4 years. Next year will be 5. I fought it. I said, God, there's no way this could work. This is weird. It's weird. But again, to your point, saying yes to God, it does not make sense to other people, and it's not supposed to. If you just say, yes, God, I will honor you and I'll obey you, and this is what you placed in my spirit, I'm going to walk it out, then maybe 5 years later, someone else will say that it was a great idea. But girl, I was like, that's dumb.
And you know what? It's your personality, because you're a go-getter, right?
Yeah. Yes,
you go after what you, and you take what's yours. You take what's yours. So for this, I know me, I'm a mother of 4. I got so many different things going on, the nonprofit, the book, like yourself, all these different things. You have to make a conscious decision to take time out for you. Listen, stolen lunches, I love it.
Steal away.
I love it. I love it. And then guess what? Uniquely qualified. I love that too.
Thank you. I got it right here. This is the latest version.
Right. So you're a bestseller. Talk about uniquely qualified. Where did you get that title? Where did this book come from?
It was kind of the same thing. You know, when God speaks to you, it's like a subtle, like, power. It's like, it was like, did I hear that? But it's powerful at the same time. To be honest, when I was in that bad relationship that I was telling you about, I reached out to a woman who I really looked up to, and we had a coffee together. And in the conversation, she kept saying, you are uniquely qualified. You can walk this out. And it's like, I have been searching for a title. I had already been writing the book, but the title hadn't quite come to me yet. And I kept saying, God, you're going to give it to me. And the second she said it, I said, that's it. Yep. That is it. And the truth is, I believe you like any person, you have already been qualified by God in a unique way to walk into your purpose. But you, my dear, have to get out of your own way and just walk it out. The reason why these things haven't happened yet is because you are still holding on to some aspects of yourself and not giving them to God. And number 2, because you're not actually walking out what God is asking you to do because you're scared. So walk in faith. Don't worry about these other things and allow God to do the miraculous wonders that he is waiting to do in your life.
Right. Now, how long did it take you to write this book?
3 long, drooling, excruciating years. I will never tell anyone that the process was easy. Whenever God is giving you something, you are going to there's going to be work. There is going to be work. And I believe that a millionaire can sit in this interview call with us right now and can write out the plan and can say, Mercedes and Jacinda and everyone watching, here's the plan of what you need to do to become a billionaire. And I bet you we'll still walk away and we got the recipe, but we will not become billionaires. And it's simply because we will not do the work. So
right now,
you got to
tell me if you experienced this, because when I wrote my book, the typing part, I knew when it was done. I just knew when it was complete. But did you experience a battle of any kind, a spiritual battle, before you released it because you had poured out so much? What was that process like? Because when I tell you, when I went through it, I was angry. I'm like, how come no other author told me that I was going to experience this? Because I didn't realize what it was. But when you pour yourself out and it's going to reach so many people, there was definitely a spiritual battle that happened.
So a couple things happened to me. Writing it out, pouring it out was very easy to me. I would say that maybe took a couple months. I mean, to be honest, when God is just using you, when you are the vessel and the vehicle, I felt like half the time I was like, and I almost like had an outer body experience. Like I was typing faster than the words can come out. You know what I mean? Like the words were coming out faster than I could type is what I'm trying to say. But the editing process and putting everything together and never being in this industry before and knowing how to do that was very, very difficult. Yep. My battle was this, and I'm glad that you asked that. I had looked up to a certain gentleman who had been a best-selling author for many, many years. So here I am, a up-and-coming author who is so green. I'm reading books on how to write books as I'm writing my book. And I come to this guy, I pay him. I'm like sitting at his every beck and call, like, what do I need to do? And he read my book and gave me a report card and basically said, this book is good. However, you didn't give a plan B. What about the women who can't do what you're asking them to do? You need to give a follow-up, a plan B. So to me, my book was done. And then I had this gentleman say, there's not a plan B to it. So follow me when I say that really made me go back to the drawing board and sit down. And I sat out for almost a year because in my mind, I needed to go back through the book from the very beginning to add in conversation to now give women like different opportunities and different choices. After almost a year of me giving up and fighting, of opening my laptop, trying to dive back into this book, trying to fix what I thought was done, it finally dawned on me that he was not the person that was really called to ever read my book. I don't even know if he believes in Jesus. I don't even know if he believes the words that are in this book. So you have to be careful when you're birthing a baby as to who is to come around and lay hands on that, because that truly, what I realized, there is no plan B. You do what God calls you to do, and that's it. If you don't do it, then you can sit in the same job and in the same horrible relationship for the next 20 years. And if that's what you want for your life, that's perfectly fine. But what I'm saying is you've been qualified already to walk in it in a unique way that's only destined for you. There is no plan B. So because I listened to someone else who gave me a critique on my book, it paused the process for a long time and it messed up my mind and where I was going. So when you talk about a spiritual attack, that's true. You have something that's going to come out and bless people for Jesus. You better believe that there's going to be people stopping you or the enemy's going to try to stop you.
And what I'm going to do is the first person to put in the notes under this live, uniquely qualified, I'll buy them a book from you, Jacinda, and you'll send it to them, right?
Of course. I actually need to go send a couple books right now. I'm behind. I need to go send some books. I'll do it tomorrow.
So the first person that puts uniquely qualified under this live feed, I will purchase you a book and Jacinda will mail it to you personally signed, right?
Of course.
All right. So uniquely qualified. Now, let's talk about the tour, because yourself and a couple other ladies decided not only is everyone unique and you're uniquely qualified, but we're going to take this show on the road. right? How did that come about, and where are you ladies going besides Buffalo, New York?
Thank you for that question, Mercedes. This is more than just a book. This is really a movement, and this is really you believing that you're qualified. The other day, I was on a conference call. I'm on a board, and the guy kept saying, "Jacinda, you're uniquely qualified. You're uniquely qualified." And I started to be like, "Is this guy being funny?" And finally, the executive director was like, "He has no idea that this is what your book is called." So
Wow.
there's such power to it. It's more than a book. It is a movement, and it is a way. It's a mind frame. It's the way you should think. It's the way you should move. And so we said we need to get more people to understand the power behind this. So really, to be honest, my phase one was to launch the book, learn what it's like to speak on behalf of the book, and to develop your speeches, really move and empower an entire room. Phase two is to take it outside of my hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina, and really take it places where people don't know you. You know, the enemy's been in my mind saying, "Don't nobody know you in these cities, Jay. What do you think you're going to do?" But God comes right in behind and says, "They don't, but they will." They will know the power behind uniquely qualified. And so it's my mission to fill up rooms, to let women know you're already qualified. Let me ignite this greatness inside of you, and let's do this work, because there's businesses inside of you. There's kids inside of you. There's wonderful relationships inside of you. And it starts with us. Baby girl, do the work. Start it today. Work, connect with this community of women that are doing it with you, and let's do something great for the world. But I will not allow for you to sit there for the next 20 years being unhappy and being basically normal. Like we're more than normal. All right. We are better. We're exceptional. And so we cannot settle for mediocrity. So 7 cities, it launches the end of October 27th in our hometown of Charlotte. We're going to Greenville. We're going to Atlanta, Orlando. We're going to DC, Chicago, New York.
Buffalo.
And oh yeah, Buffalo, you put out Buffalo, but we are definitely going to New York. That's just the East Coast tour. And then middle of next year, we launch West Coast. And really, to be honest, Mercedes, our 3 to 5 year goal is to take it to arenas. And so I would love to launch within the next 3 years, sell out Spectrum Center Arena here in Charlotte for a actual just one-day conference, men and women, where I would bring in speakers like Mercedes, bring in speakers like yourselves, keep walking in the lane you're in, so we can hire you to come and speak and inspire 10 to 17,000 people and really start to impact the world for Christ.
Right. Now, Tiana did reply. So Tiana, you will have your book soon.
Hey, Tiana!
Now, Tiana's from Ohio.
That is amazing.
Yep, Tiana's from Ohio. So we have to talk a little bit of basketball before you go.
Okay.
Because you are the Charlotte Hornets arena host.
Yep.
And we are LeBron fans. So this year we're Lakers.
All right. I know how it's like y'all jump from like y'all the Heat fans 1 second, y'all Cavaliers fans a second.
Right. Listen, we just love basketball in this house. So how did that come about? What do you do? That's so exciting. Talk a little bit about that.
It really is. It's one of those, if you are a person who's laser focused, who like says a goal, says you want something, then you go get it. That was one of those things for me, Mercedes. I saw someone doing it and I said, I want to do that. And I believe I can. And it took me about 4 years to get the gig. So that's one thing I like to share with people, because I think sometimes everyone thinks things come so easily, but I auditioned, got the job. The last co-host, the last arena host came back. So then they were like, we no longer need you, bump you, bye. I was like, dang, I done got the job. So they bumped me out. The next year, they called me up, can I get the job? But I was working weather at the time. Remember, I shared with you morning and evening. I was working crazy hours. So my news director at the time would not let me do it. So it's like 4 years of ups and downs of me really like wanting to have this job. And finally in 2014, when the Charlotte Hornets came back to Charlotte and the Bobcats moved out, I got to be a part of the launch of that. So that's what that means is that I'm on the court. I'm with the fans, 17,000 fans. We are having fun. We're doing halftime, all the timeouts. Everything that is fun is my job. And it was at that job that I met my co-host, who is now my husband. And when they first brought him on, I was like, why are they bringing this dude on? I got this job. I don't need him. Like, why is he here? And he started they started letting him guest host a few of the games. And then I started to kind of be like, he's so much fun. He's great. Like, we laugh and have a great time. The second year they brought him on as my co-host. And then we got married after that. We told our boss 1 week before we got married, like, by the way, just letting you know we're getting married next Friday. And now
I love it.
This will be our 5th season. And now, I mean, everyone knows we're married. We're best friends. We have a great time, and we're co-hosts forever from the Hornets.
Yeah, y'all look like y'all have a really good time together.
Y'all
have a really good time together.
All the time. He's a mess. Crazy.
Are you a vision board woman? How do you write your goals down and go toward them? What do you do?
I am. We actually, through the ministry, we do have a vision board party every at the beginning of the year. There's a young lady, Terry Avery, who always leads our vision boards every year to just kind of bring women together, and we just kind of just lay out our goals and our visions. We pray about them and just kind of put them out visually to be able to see them. But for me, what I've done in my personal walk is in my prayer time, I have a sacred time of quiet time and devotional time with Jesus every morning. That is how I am able to do what I do. I'm able to pour into others by having my quiet time and receiving from God every morning. Right. But in my prayer time, I was asking God for clarification, for direction, God for vision, and God gave me a list, and it was outrageous. It was outrageous. I said, this is a crazy list, but nonetheless, in a notepad like this, I wrote it out. I wrote out my list, and I just tore it out and I taped it on my bathroom mirror. And these are long-term, huge vision goals. And a year later, almost all of them are on the way to being checked off. That's
right. I love that.
So what the irony of saying yes to Jesus is, these are not my visions, but these are truly destiny moments that God has placed in my heart that I'm just bringing to fruition and saying, God, I'm working and walking these things out for you. And I believe when you speak them, when you see them, I mean, me and my husband, we pray over them all the time. We're talking about all the time. But I'll give you one example of one thing that's on there. So of course, any woman, we all love Oprah. Duh. We all love, I mean, if you don't love Oprah, I can't like you. There's something off with you. I don't like Oprah. Like, that's my truth.
Right.
I love Oprah. And of course, I was like, I want her to read my book one day. I want her, or not even this book, another book, because I want to write more books. I want her to know this mission that I'm on and what I'm doing. And I will be so honest in letting you know that we have been in talks to do a show. And lo and behold, the pilot landed on her desk, and Oprah has actually watched the pilot and has actually green-lighted that. So there are conversations taking place about this, but that's not even the part that matters. What matters to me is that I really admire Oprah, and she inspires me so much. But to know that I just simply wrote it on a piece of paper,
right,
and that she has actually laid eyes on me and my husband through this tape is that piece. Do you see what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. So, and that's just one part of my outlandish, vision board that I wrote down. So I highly recommend take time, find a quiet space, just be with God, just in meditation, just be with God. He'll deposit these things into you, write them down, pray on them, talk about them, speak about that. There is power in your words. Have your spiritual leaders and people around you in your circle that can hold you accountable to working towards them. It will rock your brain, but that stuff will come true. It will so happen.
Right. Now, I mean, from all the things that you've said, there's 3 that stood out. You were obedient, you did the work, and you're actually enjoying, you're having fun, and you're fulfilled in what you are supposed to be doing, which is a huge, what is it? Not a 360, a 180 from how you felt years ago before you stepped away from everything. Obedience, do the work, and you have fun fulfilling your destiny, right?
I laugh every single day. Laughter is huge. Having a balanced life of doing the work, having devotional time, working out, spending time with your children, cooking, enjoying your husband, and laughing. Like, you gotta cut up. You gotta cut up,
right. And you're also real. You're also very real on your 1 minute clips on Instagram. You're real. You talk about the ups and the downs and how you had a bad day. I remember when we met, And I recognized you from a video that Deborah sent me, and you walked in, and I didn't take any offense because everybody was running around. But I said, "Hi, you're Jacinda. I know who you know, because I saw your videos," and you came back and apologized and said, "I'm sorry if I was short or if I, made you feel some type of way because I didn't stop and say hello." And I'm thinking, what is she talking about? I'm not thinking anything, but you're real with it because you're real with your struggles and you put it out there. And a couple days later, I saw you put something on Instagram just checking your attitude. And I was like, that's true because she did it when I met her. She did it when I met her. So you're real.
Yes. No, I got an attitude with this lady at Staples the other day. I was like, excuse me, move your stuff. And the lady was like, you're Jacinda from the gospel show. And I was like, just watch yourself because sometimes we're so quick to kind of like let people know what time it is and put them in their place, but walk in like, what would Jesus do? Walk in that love. And I have to check myself so often. And it was one of those, I learned so quickly that, man, I messed up by feeling like I needed to let her know what time it was and all this and that. And it was just, it's usually always a misunderstanding, but you all up in your feelings somewhere. So just give love. That's it.
I appreciate you being real. And before we go, I know you got to get going. Before we go, I want you to encourage the people that are watching and that will watch. If you had to leave us with a few last words of encouragement, what would it be?
I really want to share, and you really just said it in a nutshell. I want people to know that you have truly been qualified in a very unique way. There are special things about you that I cannot do, and the world is waiting for you to do them. So get out of your head of thinking how ugly you may be or how fat or how this, and all these setbacks. It comes down to perspective, the power of perspective. If you will change your perspective and telling yourself, I am beautiful and I am qualified and I can get this promotion and I can build this job and I will have a happily marry. I will walk in a happily marriage. I will have great children. I will. When you speak this over your life and walk it out, that's it. Yeah. But so many times our perspective is all darkness and negativity. And that's really half the battle that's going to limit you. Yeah. So know that you've been qualified. Know that there's uniqueness in you. A lot of the things that you're thinking are your weaknesses are actually your blessings. God made you that way, because that's what's going to be the blessing. And that's what other people are waiting for you to walk out, because that's what's going to bless them. Yeah. Prime small example. Growing up, my father is Dominican and my mother is white. And so I am mixed and I can't speak Spanish, so I didn't fit in with the Spanish kids. And I don't look black, so I can't fit with the black kids. And for my white friends, I'm a little different. I'm a little more brown. So I never really fit in with any friend anywhere I went. I grew up in Germany, and when I moved to Virginia Beach, it just was one of those, now you're new, and I did not fit in anywhere. So I felt like that was a weakness of mine, was that I don't have a tribe that I can really rock with, right? Yeah. No matter where I am, I don't fit in. I don't. So here we go, fast forward. And when I get my radio job, it was because they had a white host and they had a black host, and they were looking for a third host that was different. So I really only got that job because I was mixed. So it's one of that small little example is that your uniqueness, the thing that you're thinking is off and different about you, is the thing that the world is waiting for. That is actually your strong suit. It's actually your blessing. It's the thing that people are going to see from miles away. Your red hair, your curves, anything, the way you talk, your accent, your stuttering, whatever. That's that thing that people are going to see, that people are going to notice, and that people are going to be like, that girl with the bright red hair, she is gorgeous. She is this, she is that. But you over here trying to hide your red hair. Right. So you are uniquely qualified. Do the work and walk it out. That's you basically said it, but that's really what I want to leave you with. You're going to have to do the work, but if you do it, you will enjoy every bit of it. Ultimate freedom, the money will come, the peace comes, and you live and truly walk in joy every day.
Thank you for that. So I'm keeping my crazy laugh. My laugh is unique.
Yes.
I'm keeping it.
Yes.
I'm keeping it.
Do it louder.
I'm keeping it. Where can people get your book, Jacinda?
I am uniquelyqualified.com. And I purposely put it that way because when you type it, You are speaking an I am statement over your life. I am uniquely qualified. I am uniquely qualified.
All right, get ready to sign.
Too. If you want to go to Amazon too, you could do that too.
I'm gonna need 2 copies of your book signed, one for myself, one for Tiana.
Okay, perfect.
So Tiana, we will get you your book. Thank you so much, Jacinda. I know you have a ton going on, but I thank you for taking some time to talk to me. This won't be the last that we talk. Congratulations on all of your successes and the tour. She keeps saying New York, gal, but I keep throwing in Buffalo.
I know, because you like, we coming to Buffalo. So let me know if we need to go to Buffalo, y'all. What's the deal? What's the verdict?
Oh yeah, you are. You are. We're gonna make it happen. But thank you so much for your time. Okay, folks, share, because this is inspirational. This is some stuff that we all need to hear. We can all chew on and we can all become better, right? And walk this thing out in Christ. So Jacinda, thank you for imparting so much into us tonight.
Thank you, Mercedes. Thank you for the opportunity.
We will talk soon.
Bye, girl. Peace out.